Morning, everybody. Switch.
Good morning.
All right, look at all these shining faces there. I tell you guys, impress me less and less every time. Okay. Got here. 20. Okay, good. All right, I think I got almost everybody's response, maybe one missing too for the job situation. Almost half of you have something for the summer and we're waiting for a couple others to have some interviews and stuff. So I think that's just phenomenal. I don't believe in the past the first year was as successful in finding work. So that just shows you the strength of the economy. So that's great. That is fantastic. Some of the hourly rates are varying just based on where you guys are from. So it looks like it's anywhere from $13 to $16 an hour or so. So that's pretty good really for being in school and, you know, only knowing what you know and after a year. So that's great. Anybody start theirs yet? Well, I'm looking for something here that wants to say how it's going or anything. Anybody start yet?
I started.
Oh, well, you've been working, haven't you?
Yeah.
But it's been going good though.
Yeah, it's good. Just same stuff every day.
How'd that water main job go that you sent? That water main job go that you sent me the pictures of?
Oh, that sucked. Yeah,
Why?
I had to get in that pit for like 4 hours because it was me and another guy, and the other guy he didn't know how to operate a shovel. So
I'm sure they did. They probably just thought that you would do it, or they really didn't know how to use it.
No, it's two young guys. It wasn't me and one of the older guys. So whatever.
So you were like the lead. You were like the lead worker.
Yeah, lead shovel. 4 hours.
You were the lead shovel. Hey, that's what's going to happen for a little while anyway.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of pipe was that?
Oh man. To be honest, I don't remember the name, but it was a mega lug connection. So whatever is used for that, it's like the black pipe.
Yeah. Ductile. It's called ductile iron.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Let me see here if I can. Do you mind if I show some of them pictures?
No, that's fine.
Well, let me see. There's only really. All right. Well, here, let me just show this one. Hold on. I got to get it to my computer first. I forgot that you sent me this. All right. Share. So here's that pit of despair he's talking about. Looks like a good time down there. Was this the pit?
That wasn't the one that I was talking about where we actually had to tie in the service. They made me like dig out. The excavator got, I would say, about 8 feet down, but then around the pipe where it came out of the ground, they had us dig by hand because I guess the guy didn't want to get too close to it.
Oh, I didn't. All right, I don't see that one. But so what was this pit here? Was this existing or did you guys put this in?
This was existing. This is how we shut it up. So it was a big church. It was probably like, it's basically like a city block. It's called like St. Titus of Calcutta. They got the main church. They got where the priest lives and all that. And then they have this big education center. And this was basically where all the water came from. So I got down there with my boss and he basically showed me like which valves to shut to turn the service off. So that was pretty cool.
So did you change any of these valves?
No, it was on the other side. I forgot to send those pictures. This is just shutting the service off.
So this is a really good example of stuff that you never know what you're going to get into with whatever kind of work you're doing. I mean, your company does a lot of residential or just a mix?
It's mainly commercial, and then there's two guys. It's me and the owner who do residential, and then we'll do new construction if we're not busy. But
Yeah.
it's mainly so.
But you can see how looking at this might be a little nerve wracking, but if you break it down, it's just a couple valves. And anybody know what kind of valve this is? Anybody remember? Look at the shape of it.
Is it a type of gate valve?
It's a type of gate valve, correct. So if you see the stem like this, that means it's a rising stem gate valve. If you turn the valve and the top of the stem never moves, then it's a non-rising stem. So they're not really, I mean, I'm sure there's a better application for one than the other, but I don't think it makes much difference. I'm sure people that maybe put this stuff in all the time, might say, oh, we use this for that application. I don't know what that is, but I've seen them both. Could be a clearance issue sometimes, but yeah, that's a cool picture. So instead of some huge water meter, they use this to meter the water off the side here. So instead of having some huge, looks like 4-inch, was that what that was?
Yeah, that was 4.
4, yeah. So that's some big pipe right there. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so if you have any other ones, send them to me. I'd like to see how that worked out in that pit. All right.
We have to go back this week, so I'll get more.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, if anybody's working and you take any, I don't care what it is, just take it, send it to me. I'll look at it and see if it's something that, remember, you're out there looking at it, your classmates aren't. So it's nice for everybody to get to see, and we might find something that's really good to go over. All right, I still have a couple of those other quizzes open. I'm not going to go over it. I was gonna, but I had a couple people that just had a case where they couldn't take it in time. So, but mostly everybody did it. Seemed to work out. I think I went back and adjusted you could view the grade. I forgot to click a button. Nate, were you able to figure that out?
Nah, I just did it.
Okay. Yeah, I
It
have
was
to
already
click
due.
usually I click a button that says you can see your grade after every attempt if it's or see the questions and all that, but I must have forgot on the first time, but I did. So it reminds me then. So I just made another one last night. It's just called Quick Quiz. It's in course 166. I will, of course, send it out in the email today. It's nothing too complicated. It's just to keep you sharp a little bit before we have some other stuff to quiz on. It's just 10 questions, pretty quick one, but that one I have done so you can see the grades and stuff. So, okay. And also when you finish a quiz, make sure that you close it or submit it. What does it look like when you're done? Do you have to press a button, like a submit button or a close button? Yeah. So just make sure, because some of those I see they're complete, but it still says open. But when I go in and look, it looks like you're done. So please go and make sure that it's submitted. I don't know if when the time runs out, it just submits it on its own. I think it does, but it'd be better if you did it. Also, I just went through the OSHA this morning, and it looked like everybody had completed it. Does anybody know, was there a grade that you had to get at the end to get a certificate? On the last part of it, like the last questions, or anybody remember?
I think you had to get like an 80 or above to pass that.
Okay, yeah, because I see some of them didn't.
You're talking about OSHA, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it was like 80 or above to get the certificate, and you get 3 tries.
Okay. So if you haven't completed that correctly, please go through. If you have, send me your certificate via email. It should come as a PDF. Okay, we got that. All right, let's go through. Let's do some refreshing memory here on some fitting carts. Oh, let me close some other pictures here, so I'll screw this up. And then we're gonna start some mixing valve stuff for maybe a class or two. All right. I was over this weekend, just grabbed some stuff. So just kind of a refresher here. What do we got? What kind of drill bit do we got here?
That'll be.
That'll be-
Battle bit, very good. A lot of you guys, new construction, you should be using a ton of these things. What do we got here?
Half-inch quarter turn boiler drain.
Half-inch quarter turn boiler drain, correct. And then we have right here. What's this one?
That's an arbor.
Arbor, very good. Okay, what do we use the arbor with?
The whole bit.
Hole saw.
Hole saw, very good. We use it with the hole saw. And what materials are we going to drill with the hole saw?
Wood.
Wood, correct. You can also drill through metal. Depending on the the thickness of the metal. Okay, so I'm on a job now where we have steel studs. Oh, I lost my page. Where am I at? Not that one. There it is. We have steel studs to drill through. I'll just take a picture of that later today if I go there. All right, what do we got here? Should be easy by now.
Frost-free hydrant.
Frost-free hydrant. Those of you guys doing some residential work, boy, you'll be changing a lot of these here soon. Leaking all over the place. At the top of the frost-free hydrant, which can also be attached to the hose threads, what is this apparatus called?
Vacuum breaker.
Vacuum breaker. And what's the purpose of the vacuum breaker?
Prevent backflow.
To prevent backflow. Correct. Very good. And then connected to the arbor was what again?
Hole saw.
Hole saw.
You can drill through wood, metal, plastic. The only thing you're not going to be able to drill through here is masonry, brick, block. Also, if you're in an older home and you have to drill a hole for whatever reason, if they have plaster, this will go through the plaster, but you will also dull the bit. If it's just a hole, maybe not, but if you have a bunch of holes, then make sure you have a bunch of drill bits.
Why? Because it's like stone-ish.
Well, it's just like a masonry almost, that old plaster that they use. So if usually it was for like small duct openings or, running pipes for a renovation job. I mean, it was just a nightmare. I mean, it would go through your first one, you'd be like, no problem. And then all of a sudden, like by your third hole, this thing is duller than my personality, and at 20 to 30 bucks a hole saw, depending on the size, you got to get the hole in there, but it's just something to think about. Is what you're using your hole saws for. You can spend $100 some on a hole saw kit. You'll never use half the sizes in the hole saw kit. So I would recommend, if you were going to buy an arbor and a couple hole saws, just buy the sizes that you're going to use and buy a couple of each. That's for sure. All right. What do we have here? This would be, before you say anything, this particular would be for a lavatory drain. So what size and what is it? How about you, Roche?
Oh boy.
Oh boy, you better wake up.
I am waking up. I answered the frost-free hydrant one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
All right. You can lie to me.
I'm not lying to you.
Okay, Boomer. All right. What do we got here? It's for a lavatory.
Isn't that 1.25" PVC slip joint nut?
Very good. 1.25" plastic or PVC slip joint nut. Good. There you go. Now, if that was for a kitchen sink, what size would it be?
1.5 inches.
1.5 inches. Very good. Since you're on the phone here and you're doing so well,
Oh,
what's
boy.
this one right here?
Isn't that a hole saw bit?
No, that's the hole saw.
Oh boy.
That's the slow version of cutting a hole through wood. What's this one for? Or what's it called?
I have no clue. Hole
All
saw.
right.
bit.
Oh, no, it's not. You already said wholesale and I said no. So if you say it again, you're like my kids. If you ask for a candy and I say no, and you ask the second time, the answer's not going to change. That was funny. All right. Who else wants to tell me what this is?
Self-feed bit.
Self-feed bit. And where do
That's
we
what it
use this only?
Wood.
Wood. There's no other place that you're going to be able to use this bit. Maybe drywall, but there'd be no reason why you'd want to do that. So that's what a hole saw is for, or a keyhole saw. So yeah, self-feed bit. So anybody doing new construction out there who has done it, I'm sure you're using these. You can use the hole saw, but it just takes a lot longer, and then you got to get the wood piece out of it. So, all right, what do we got for this reducing tee? You can take a guess on the size.
Did an inch by half black tee.
Very good. That's what it was, because that was the one on the table before. So 1 inch by half black tee. Okay. I know some of these, like you've seen them, it's kind of boring, but you gotta keep looking at them, and you don't want to forget. I mean, if you ever go to Home Depot or Lowe's, spring, summer here doing stuff, just walk down the plumbing aisle and just look at stuff and tell yourself what it is. Go through your house and look at stuff. I mean, you're going to have to want to remember this summer. Well, Nate, I know you answer a lot, but this is really your favorite fitting. You're famous for this.
Yeah, I think so. That's 4 or no. That's 3 by.
You were right the
3
first
by
time.
4. Okay, 4 by 3 PVC DWV bushing.
Very good. 4x3 PVC DWV bushing. Yep. I know it's tough for the sizes here, but you can always take a guess. Let's do those last. All right. Who else do we got here that's needs to be awake? How about you, Zenenia? What do you got right here? Even if you don't know the size, tell me what it is.
Is that like a half inch by reducer coupling?
It's a reducer. Very good. It's hard. Sizes are hard. It's a 2 by 1.5 inch PVC DWV reducing coupling. Okay, you can use that in lieu of a bushing. So certain applications where you want to use one, or you want to use the other. So 2 by 1.5 inch PVC DWV bushing. Okay, this right here. What do we got? Let's just call it 3 inches long. Be used on an old lavatory connection typically.
That's a nipple.
It is, but what size? Reyes. Good morning, Reyes. Yes, sir, Bob.
That's a half inch chrome nipple.
It
Right.
is a 3/8 by 3 chrome nipple. Now I know you can't tell, but that's what I was trying to say about the old lavatory sizes that you would have that. And I've mentioned it before, but you'd have 3/8 a lot of times sticking out of the wall. So there you go. Now these, let me zoom out a little bit. So I put multiple ones here to show you that they can come in any color, size, not size, any color or, kind of material, but they're just going to serve the same purpose. So it probably is hard to see here. So here on this right here on the left, you got just multiple different kinds. You got the poly, a couple different kinds of rubber. Let's see if I can zoom in. So if you can see this one, these are the bevel type, and this is just flat. So sometimes they'll come in a kit with 1.25 inch or 1.5 inch slip joint, typically chrome, and they'll sit on that lip, and they're just it's just a slip joint washer of a different style. So the bevel ones are nicer because they don't leak as much. Then we got the tailpiece washers or top hat washer, and then the 1.25 inch by 1.5 inch slip joint washers. Different kinds. You got this blue one's thinner, this bigger blue one, poly, rubber. I mean, just different kinds. So don't be confused by, kind of what they are. All right, cool. So just a little refresher as usual. Let me get out of that. No. Okay, cool. Just give me a second. Let's start with. I want to show you this real quick before we start mixing valves. Give me a second. Let me go through the ad myself first.
Something better for myself.
I was starting to get comments from
Oh,
well-meaning people
I
that
bet you were.
would say to me,
Okay, Booms. All right. So this is an advertisement from Ream. But this is another style water heater that we didn't go over, but I want you to see because a lot of people are getting sold on them lately. And in my opinion, they're not a good idea. And I'll tell you why at the end. Okay, it's only 2 minutes, so watch this one.
Introducing the new Ream Hybrid Electric Water Heater. With a uniform energy factor of 3.55 to 3.70, this is the smartest and most efficient water heater on the market today. It can save homeowners up to $4,750 in energy costs, and it's the quietest hybrid on the market at 49 decibels. Plus, the Ream Hybrid is compatible with the EcoNet smart monitoring system, offering Wi-Fi connected control both at home and away. Here's how it works. A fan pulls air through the upper enclosure of the heat pump. The air passes through a filter to remove any debris or dust. Heat in the air is absorbed by the eco-friendly refrigerant inside the evaporator coil, and cool, dehumidified air is exhausted. Refrigerant is pumped by a compressor through the refrigerant system. The compressor increases the temperature of the refrigerant, which is delivered to the condenser. The condenser tubing is wrapped around the water heater tank where heat is transferred from the refrigerant to the water. All functions are controlled simultaneously by an advanced control. In energy saver mode, the heat pump and electric heat operation is utilized to optimize efficiency based on hot water use. In high demand mode, the heat pump and electric heat operation is utilized to optimize hot water delivery. In electric mode, the heat pump is disabled and the appliance operates like a standard electric water heater. In heat pump mode, the water is heated exclusively by the heat pump operation. In vacation mode, the water heater maintains 65-degree water for up to 28 days. The condensate drain routes the condensation created during the water heating process away from the unit. The built-in condensate management system will shut down the compressor if it senses water outside. This helps prevent damage and will send an alert if the condensate drain needs to be cleaned. A leak detection cable is also included. If water is detected in the drain pan, the unit emits an audible alarm and sends an alert to the homeowner's phone through the EcoNet app, which can help save up to $4,000 in costly water damage repairs. The electric elements are accessible on the front of the unit in an upper and lower location. The Ream Hybrid Water Heater installs as easily as a standard electric water heater. It also provides more hot water than most electric units and delivers it faster. The newest Ream Hybrid Electric Water Heaters. Savings, peace of mind, and convenience from the start. Refrigerant.
All right, that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? If you get a service call and you have a hybrid heat pump water heater, just go straight to your van and leave. No, I'm just kidding. They are a disaster. I'm all about new products and like innovation in the plumbing industry. And that's why I teach you how to use a meter and test things. Not much to test on this. You hope that something's wrong under warranty. That fancy screen in the front may or may not tell you what the problem is. I mean, I love Ream stuff, but no matter what it is, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to go to this water heater. You're going to try to diagnose the problem. You're going to do the best you can. It's probably going to be a refrigerant problem or something within this refrigerant system. The cost to repair it, but when you tell the customer, it's not worth it. What they're going to tell you to do is go ahead and just put it. Let's see if I can see they're going to tell you just to go ahead and put it back in electric heating mode. Where do they show that at? There we go. So because it's just an electric water heater and they're showing that heat pump wrapped with the coils like you saw. So diagnosing the electric part is exactly the same as we talked about in the shop. We'll dive into it more next year. We'll bring you guys over because we'll be there all the time with normal schedule. And I'll get to show you all that. I showed the sophomores. They really enjoyed it. So I don't really care for these. It's not that like I'm scared of it and I can't fix it. I can fix anything. It's just the fact that, you know, you got a lot more parts involved here. So I did some quick math while you were watching that. They said $4,750 in savings over its lifetime. They're basing its lifetime over 20 years. That's $227 per year of savings. Okay. It costs anywhere from $200 to $2,500 more than a typical water heater to install, maybe even more depending on the wiring that they have at their house. It might not be sufficient. So at like $2,500 for 20 years, you're talking 60 some dollars. So now you're down to saving about $150 to $170 a year. When what happens when this thing breaks out of warranty? You just lost that savings. So is it really worth it? What do you think? Do you want one in your, do you want one in your house?
No.
No. So again, I'm not saying that it's terrible. I just, there's a lot more involved for the technician that's got to go there and fix it than just somebody saving a few bucks on hot water. I can guarantee you that. So that's, yeah, not looking forward to those. So now even that wall hung one like we have at the shop, I don't know if I have, let me see if I have any, I want to do those mixing valves, but we have a couple minutes. So Rheem hybrid. I thought I had a Growy. Give me a second here. Where the heck is it? Darn it. Oh, there it is. Genius. Hang on. Oh, this played right away. All right, give me a second. I might just breeze through this one, but so this is another way that you might run into something heating water. I fixed one of these a few months ago. It was a freaking disaster. But luckily I know how to read a meter. I tested the part, ordered the part, came in about a week. I fixed it. The customer was extremely happy because they had 2 other people out before me and they couldn't fix it because I think they were scared of it.
Room temperature control mode. Turn the dial until the desired temperature is displayed. Confirm your selection by pressing the OK button. Setting completed. Setting completed.
So that's pretty cool, huh? Now, you sell that to somebody and you install it, works great. They call you in 2 years because something's wrong with it. Guess whose problem it is? Yours. So this is a combi boiler. I have seen a lot of these in the last 5 years. When everybody was switching from oil to gas, and they still are, if you guys really aren't in the world yet till now, as far as the, plumbing stuff, but everybody was switching from oil to gas when oil got real high. If anybody kind of remembers that, maybe your parents talked about it, or maybe you knew about it. So since everybody and their brother was doing that, the gas company, especially in my local area, was putting a lot of these in. The Navy in here, Burnham, Munchkin, all kinds of different brands of these combi boilers. So especially a lot of neighborhoods, they had a boiler. So they would come in and sell them on this boiler. And then they're not necessarily going to come back and fix it. So a lot of moving parts, internal pumps, check valves, screens, strainers. What else do they show on here that I was like, you got to be kidding me? Circuit boards. Now, you're obviously not going to go in here and fix this board. You're hoping to get a fault, or you can use your meter to find a sensor somewhere that's not working right, and then you can trace it back and use your meter and your knowledge to find out, is it the sensor or is it the board? Because the last thing you want to do is tell somebody out of warranty they need a $500 board, or even under warranty, and they got to go track it down and get it. You wait 7 to 10 days for it to show up. They don't have heat or hot water in the meantime, and then you're wrong. So it's like it's the worst feeling in the world. Even then, I was confident on this last one that I fixed a month or two. I mean, maybe more than that. It might have been 3 months ago, and it was just the hot water side. The heat side still worked. But that was inconvenient for them. Almost a week they had to shower other places. But luckily I was right. I was confident that I was right, but still had a little doubt in my mind, like, well, I hope I'm right. So yeah, you just, a lot of new age stuff here. So I'm trying to find things for you guys to see that, you might run into. All right. I want to go over some mixing valves here for the time we have left. So these are important. Anywhere from in the commercial world to just in the residential world. So let's start with just some residential ones. These belong under a sink. Hang on. Hi, I'm Dan. Oh, hey, Dan. He's quick, isn't he? Here we go. Zoom. Share. Okay. All right, let's see this guy. So Caleffi, I found this one because Caleffi is a brand that my local supplier stocks for a lot of hydronic heating stuff and parts like this. So it's only a minute.
Perkis with Caleffi North America here today in our new training center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to talk to you about a Caleffi 5212 sink mixer. It's an anti-scald mixing valve. The sink mixer is very compact. It's a 4-port valve made for an under sink application. The 4-port design means you don't need to add a T on the cold side like you would with other 3-port valves. All the connections are 3/8 inch compression to fit with any standard flexible hose or common under sink piping. All of the bottom connections go to your stop valves. The cold outlet would go up to the cold side of your fixture, where the mixed outlet side would go up to the hot side of your fixture. The sink mixer comes with this handy bracket. Once mounted to the wall, you can simply mount your valve to the bracket. Sink mixer comes with the adjustment key. You snap the cover off, and then you can adjust the valve from hot to cold to adjust your temperature. Once your temperature is set, you'll put on a locking nut, tighten that, and then snap the cover back on. That's a quick look at our sink mixer. Thanks for listening.
Oh yeah, thanks, Booms. All right, now here, that's one brand. There's another one shows a little bit better of a video. Hold on. No, not that one, not that one, not that one. Nope. Okay, Watts.
Help.
So the reason you have these, okay, before we watch this one, in a commercial application, like commercial, whatever you want to call it, okay, say you're at a bank. Right now we're doing a little strip mall job that this Ula Bowl places, they make like fruit bowls or something. They're going to have 2 bathrooms that we're piping in from scratch, so we're going to have to provide these under the sinks. You are not allowed to use the water heating source as the apparatus, we'll call it, of how you temper the water. So it has to be between 110 and 120 for your sink. So I usually just go a little over 110, 12, just make sure I'm not under 110 and over 115. Just don't want to get close to that 120. You're not allowed to use the water heater, which is ridiculous because if you have a small water heater, like a 5-gallon or 2.5 gallon up in the ceiling or in a closet, it just does a couple sinks for the wash bowls in the bathrooms. Why couldn't I just set that water heater at a certain temperature? I think it's a racket, but that's what the code book tells you. So since we can't use the water heater, we have to break it down at every fixture. So imagine when you have gang bathrooms and you have a certain place that you would have to have like 20 of these. So you don't always use these and you have too many. That's a financial decision that you have to make. So after this one, I'm going to show you a commercial one, and then we might be out of time because I want to explain some things. But so here's a different version of that same one, but it has a little bit better video.
Help ensure the safe, accurate control of water temperature with Series LF USGB Undersink Guardian, the original high-performance tempering valve listed to ASSE 1070. Ideal for tempering water to sinks in public restrooms, Undersink Guardian saves considerable time and money during installation with its patented H-pattern design with a built-in cold water bypass. Featuring a lead-free brass body construction, the LF USGB is available with push-to-connect or compression connections. The valve includes built-in checks to prevent crossflow and inlet screens to filter out debris. The LF USGB is available in bronze or with a satin chrome finish. Minimize the risk of scalding with precise temperature control with the Series LF USGB Undersink Guardian, the original industry standard for ASSE listed tempering valves. Watts is the innovator of ASSE 1070 lavatory mixing solutions. To learn more about reducing the risk of scalding with the LF USGB tempering valves, head to.
So that's another way that you would do it individually to temper the water. 9 out of 10 times when I went somewhere and that went bad, the customer would just say that they didn't want it anymore. We would just pipe it in. So let me make sure this is the right video. Yes, it is. Okay. So now that would be the individual way to do it. So if you had you were in a school somewhere and you're doing a big commercial job, you have 2 gang bathrooms and you have maybe, 10 total, 15 total sinks, and you probably have that 10, 15 places inside of a large school, then every bathroom individually, instead of having 10 or 15 of those to service, they're going to have one of something like this. Leonard is a big name in mixing valves. I've worked on a ton of these things. They're not too bad.
Leonard Valve Company has expanded their offerings of master mixing valves by introducing 2 new product lines, the XL Series high-low style master mixing valves and the LV Series master mixing valves. The XL and LV Series valves feature a dual paraffin-based thermostatic element and shuttle design for fast response to temperature changes over a wide range of flow conditions. The shuttle is constructed entirely of stainless steel to resist scale and corrosion in all water conditions. Leonard Valve thermostatic wax elements feature a copper body with wax reservoir and a stainless steel piston. XL and LV series valves feature 2 wax elements for more precise temperature control. When temperature increases inside of the valve, the wax inside the thermostatic elements change from a solid to a liquid and expand, forcing the stainless steel piston outward. This causes the stainless steel shuttle to move, throttling the hot water supply to the valve. As the temperature inside the valve cools, the wax inside the thermostatic elements return to a solid, and a spring assists in sliding the shuttle back into a neutral position. Leonard Valve's wax thermostatic elements are long-lasting and feature our 10-year warranty. All XL and LV series valves are ASSE 1017-2009 listed, manufactured of no-lead bronze castings, and third-party certified as lead-free. The LV series of master mixing valves are available in 6 sizes as valve only and can be configured with options to meet project-specific requirements. LV series valves feature flow rates up to 216 gallons per minute. The XL series of high-low master mixing valves come in 4 sizes, pre-assembled with a dial thermometer and ball valve on the outlet. The XL series valves feature improved low-flow performance over the LV series and can handle a maximum flow rate of up to 208 gallons per minute. Leonard Valve Company.
All right. So that's how you would do a larger area, whether it's just sinks or a lot of times you'll do showers. So you got a locker room, there's 10 showers, whether they're stalls or whatever they got going on, and you're going to size it based on the minimum and maximum. So how many gallons per minute is the average shower head? Anybody want to guess? Come on, somebody guess. It's about 2.2 to 2.6. Sorry if I didn't hear anybody. So you would take that and you'd say, okay, I got 2.2. I got 10 of those. There's 22. I have 10 sinks at the aerators on the spec sheet for that lavatory are 2.0 gallon per minute. I got 10 of those. There's another 20. So now I'm at 40. Saves a hand. Say you were at like 75. Okay. So you know that 70, just like reading that gas thing. So 75 is over the 63, which means I have to go with an LV 983 LF. So sizing this is just like sizing anything else with numbers. You just closest without going, or with going over if you need to. Okay, it's kind of like the Price is Right. So, so that's just one by itself. Okay, and you can also get some. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Well, I know I could find it. I'm just going to start it quick because I'm running out of time. This one here, I've worked on this one a lot. Boy, it was a disaster.
Generation high-low mixing valves are pre-piped manifold assemblies of low and high flow mixing valves to provide the greatest flow range of any mixing valve on the market. All next generation high-low mixing valves are manufactured of stainless steel and low lead materials and are third-party certified as lead-free. All next generation high-low mixing valves are listed to ASSE 1017-2009 temperature actuated mixing valves for hot water distribution systems. What makes Leonard Valve Company unique is its Duratrol bimetal thermostatic element, which reacts to hot and cold temperature variations faster than any other thermostat on the market. Duratrol bimetal thermostat is directly linked to valve porting for quick response to inlet temperature changes. Next generation high-low mixing valves feature adjustable high-limit stop and locking temperature adjustment handle. Next generation high-low mixing valves feature angle check valves and service stops on the supply inlets for each valve. And ball valve shutoffs on the outlets allow either valve to be taken offline and serviced without shutting off hot water to the building. The serviceability of the next generation high-low mixing valves are second to none. Next generation high-low mixing valves are available in 6 sizes. All valves have a minimum flow rate of 1 GPM and the following maximum flow rates. Cutoffs on the outlets.
So you can see the point of this one is to be able to install one valve, and I've worked on these and installed and replaced them, that if only maybe 2 or 3 showers might be running, okay, and like a gang shower situation, like pool or something like that at a college or anywhere like that, that's where I happen to work on it. And then you have a big call for demand, this one will energize. They kind of work seamless. They're pretty simple to fix. You just have to have the parts with you. So if you run into stuff like that, you know, don't be nervous. There's a tag on the side. You got a phone. You can look up the information. That's what I would do. There was never a manual there. So I'd get the model and serial number. I'd look up online. Sometimes you got to find a local distributor that actually is licensed from the manufacturer to work on them or sell you parts. And you just get the parts. Some places have a troubleshooting on their website. Sometimes you can call. I mean, you're going to have to like figure it out sometimes, you know, it's not like you can just go and ask somebody. So, okay, so that's that. Now, something I wanted to just tell you quick was that for those of you that, I got almost everybody here today, it's good, that are working, are going to be working this summer, or really whatever you do, you have to remember that, you know, working out in the field, you're not in shop anymore. So you're working for somebody who's trying to make a profit. Okay. If you're not working directly for the business owner and you're working for the, you know, maybe a foreman or just lead worker, you know, they have a responsibility being that they're the one in charge. So the advice I could give you is, you know, show up on time, make sure your shoes are tied, tuck your, I mean, just look presentable. Okay. Number one, have your tools with you, be ready to work, leave any personal stuff at home. But I'd say the biggest thing is to remember that you're not in shop class. So be confident in what you're doing. If you're not sure, I mean, obviously ask a question, but if they leave you alone and say, okay, run this pipe from point A to point B, which is like an example I gave you when I talked to you guys individually in my office before you left, just do it. Okay. It's better to do a pipe or do something a certain way, and maybe it's not exactly the way that person would do it, but nobody wants to come back after 20 minutes or a half an hour or whatever time and you've done nothing because you say you're not sure. So if you're really not sure, just go ask a question real quick and just say, hey, I'm sorry, you know, can you explain it real quick? I want to make sure I do it right, or just do it. Okay. That's like the worst thing, is to come back and someone's done nothing because they're just not sure. And pay attention when they're telling you. Have a pen, a marker, small little, you know, notepad in your pocket. I don't care if you have to go to CVS on your way there and buy some Post-its. I don't care. Get a little spiral little thing in your pocket, in your toolbox, and be able to have the ability to write something down. Okay. That's important. And that really impresses the person that you've taken the time and the effort to say, oh, this guy's just, you know, this person's writing it down here. So they really want to get this done. So that would be my advice for you. So as far as this mixing valve stuff, you know, still want to maybe go over a couple other things that have to do with it. It's really not a lot of parts and pieces in there that you need to remember so much, but I just like you guys to see some of these things. There's some residential shower valve balancing that I want to go over, but we'll probably do that next time. So okay, don't forget, I will send that in the email. I'm also going to send you, I just kind of make this Word document and I just keep going with the links. You don't really see me going to click on it, but I think what I'll do is I'll just send it out to you. There's no reason why not to, because when you click on one of those links to watch it, and if it's interesting to you, you know how YouTube works, you just go down and like, you can spiral into all kinds of good stuff. And maybe you'll hear something in that video and say, oh, I wonder if I can find this. So remember, it sucks that we're not in the shop doing stuff, but you got to make the best of it. Take it upon yourself. You got this wonderful resource with the internet that I didn't have when I was your age. We barely had electricity. How about it, Ryan? Dial phones, you guys got everything you need here. We had strings with cans and we'd be yelling at each other. If we wanted to play with our friends, we'd yell out the front window, have to actually go to their house, knock on their door, see their parents, say, hi, Mrs. Smith, can Johnny come out and play? Now you guys just text each other. You're freaking lucky. Now remember that. All right, so I will also send this recording out in another email for a couple people that had to work this morning. So you can watch it again if you really want to hear my voice. And I'll send that Word document link and I'll email you that next quiz details. Okay. Any questions? Hang out. If not, then have a great day.
What's up, Nate?
Hey, quick question, Mr. Pete.
Yes, sir.
So if you take stuff out of a place, do the trash people take ceramic stuff, or do you have to find a special like waste hazard place?
I had to turn my volume up and press mute by accident. So just repeat the question. I'm sorry.
Like when you take stuff out, like a toilet or a sink, where does that go?
Oh,
Like, does it need to go to some?
That's a great question. Let me. Try to remember that for next week. So remind me that too, to tell everybody. So that's a really good question. So you go to somebody's house, okay? Depending on the company you work for, say you take a toilet out, right? That's kind of an easy number one thing.
So my company takes it back to the place and just throws it in the trash dumpster. But
you mean back to the shop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do that too.
But if I'm working like by myself, like I don't know what to do with it.
So that's what sucks sometimes is trash accumulation, when you work for yourself. So my shop doesn't necessarily have like my own dumpster. I kind of accumulate my trash. Lucky for me, I have other dumpsters that I can use, kind of right behind my van where I'm at all the time. Right. But if I have like a large accumulation of trash, I'll just spend $35 for the minimum dump fee. And send, my other guy in his van and we'll load it up from say like an air conditioning change out or something. And we have like the old furnace, you'll take it to the scrap yard. So the trash, you just have to think about it. You know what I mean? Like you go to Mrs. Smith and you change a toilet and that's your first call of the day at like 8 o'clock in the morning, you got a freaking toilet in the back of your van. I mean, it sucks, but that's just what it is. So what I personally do.
Well, no, I mean, can those get thrown away? Like in the normal trash?
A toilet can just be thrown in the trash. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take 2 construction bags up with me to the bathroom and I will take the tank off the bowl. The reason I use the construction ones are a little bit more expensive, but they don't rip, they're thick. So I'll put the tank in one. Maybe fill it with some other trash and I'll put the bowl in the other. Just put it in the back of my van. And then I'll get rid of it somehow, or that way, if you have to store, like sometimes I'll have to bring some trash back here and store it, but there's always dumpsters. Like the one light commercial job we're doing, I said that fruit bowl place, it's a long strip mall. There's like 10 dumpsters out back. I mean, I'm working for that place right there. So I'll just dump my stuff. Now, not out of the blue, but I'm saying if I know I'm going to that job, it's kind of fluid. You just kind of deal with where you're going to put it. Now you can take the toilets and can go in the trash. So what I tell my customers is say like one lady next week, she chose the just basic toilet. It was like 6 1/4 to replace her basic toilet. If she wanted like a elongated, comfort height and all that, it was like another $100 some, pretty much just the cost of the toilet really. I told her specifically that I would do removal of the old one, but a lot of customers, if you can tell they're tighter than 2 coats of paint, what I'll say is, okay, it's $600 to change your toilet or whatever. That includes the toilet. If you want us to remove the old toilet, it's $50, or you can just throw it out in your trash. We'll have it ready for you. 7 out of 10 people are like, nope, I'll take care of it. You know what I mean? Like, just bag it up, put it in the garage with the trash, and they'll throw it out. They'll say $50.
That's kind of what I did. I just threw it on top of the trash and they took it, but I
Yeah,
didn't know.
they'll take it. I mean, it's nice if you can separate them in 2 bags. You know what I mean? So
I kept I had the whole toilet together yet.
yeah, you can.
Only because I went to take the bolts off, but I had those hollow nut drivers that you were talking about,
Yeah.
but the hollow part wasn't long enough. It only went like that far down. And so I found these ones at Kuzan where it's actually a tube that goes all the way through, and like the thread can be however long
Yeah, that's good.
now. So
Yeah, the
but then
hollow
like the
shaft
bolts,
ones- well, hollow shaft ones are usually long
have to-
enough. It depends on the brand, I guess, but
well, they had this like the blue crap in. So it like rusted out the bolts so they wouldn't spin, and I couldn't get
oh yeah,
the
that's a
screwdriver in because
problem too.
it didn't have a screwdriver hole anymore. It was just completely rusted. And even if I like tried to chisel it, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just
So
take
I
my
just kinda-
hammer. I'll just take my hammer and reach underneath, right? And I'll just kind of break the ear off without breaking
Oh,
everything. You know what I mean? Like outside of their house.
Well, I needed the
you know?
bolt.
Yeah, if you can't get
Yeah.
the bolt off, or you can bag them all at one time. It's just the weight of it too. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm off to work.
See you,
All right, go
man.
to- yeah, go to work.
Bye.
All right, later.
Still recording.
Oh shoot.